Hey everybody, this is Miss Redfern, and I thought it would be easier for me to work maybe behind the screen, so you won't see me in the video, but you'll definitely hear my voice. All is well in the classroom. Somebody left a message. They said third block is the best block. And so we're here, and I had a little salad for lunch. It was fun. But I'm here because we want to make sure that you all are learning. So what I'm going to do, and sorry, I'm behind the camera. I don't look camera ready, but you're going to hear me. I'm going to write a couple of things on the screen. There's my hand right there. You see, it's me. And I've decided that we're going to go to the ecology unit because that's probably the easiest one for us to learn from a distance. So here's ecology. And I'm just going to give you some notes, and then I'm going to give you some activity or one activity that I want you to do on your device. And we're going to go from there. So ecology is basically like the study of the environment. So I'll write that up here, study of environment and organism interactions, right? Interaction. So I'll step back and let you see that, and then I'll talk to you a little bit. So ecology is the study of the environment, organism interactions. You guys should have gotten some of this in middle school. You probably did some symbiosis or how organisms interact with each other, things like that. We're going to talk about populations too. We're going to talk about population graphs, ecosystems, food chains, food webs. But right now, just ecology, the basic study of the environment and how organisms interact with each other. And so let's get into the topic of this lecturette. It's going to be symbiosis. Symbiosis. So there's your word there. So symbiosis, the sim meaning together, all right? And then bio, you guys know what that means. That means life. So we're going to talk about some ways that organisms live together, okay? And so some of these words are going to sound super familiar, and then there might be one that is kind of new, all right? So the first one I'm going to talk about is mutualism. Mutualism. And mutualism is a close relationship between two organisms, right, where both of them benefit from the relationship. So I'm going to say mutualism, and then I'm going to say that both benefit. Okay? Mutual, like a like a mutual friendship, right? So these organisms live close together and they both benefit. And so the classic example for mutualism is like a flower and a honeybee, right? Because the flower benefits when the bee comes because the bee takes the pollen all over the place and helps the flower to reproduce. And then the bee benefits because it gets a meal, right? And so there are a couple videos on YouTube. You can see more about that, but that's your classic example. So I'm going to say both benefit. I'm going to say like honeybee. And if I spell something wrong, don't hold it against me. And the flower. So that's mutualism, both benefit. And so sometimes you'll see mutualism shown as like two positives. So one benefits, the other benefits, right? So they're both benefiting. So two positives. Okay. Now the next type of symbiotic relationship is going to be commensalism. And this might be the one that you've never heard of, but it's okay. So commensalism is a close relationship between two organisms where one benefits and the other is unaffected. And so there's some interesting stuff out here about commensalism. Some say that it's a type of mutualism that we don't understand, but with commensalism, a typical example of that is like a barnacle on a whale. And if you want to see a picture of that, you can Google it. But the barnacles benefit because they get to ride the whale, they have a place to live, and as they travel on the whale, they get to take in water that has the organisms in it that they eat. And then the whale is supposed to be unaffected because nothing really happens. It doesn't win or lose, right? So your example there, let's put barnacle and whale. And the way we can show that is a plus sign and then like a 0. And so the plus is that organism is benefiting, this one's unaffected, okay? And so the last one we're going to talk about is parasitism. And I'm sure that sounds like a word you already know, right? And if I write it out, you'll know the word. So parasitism sounds like a parasite, right? So like a tick on a dog is a classic example of parasitism. And that's where one organism benefits and the other one is harmed, okay? So parasitism, one organism benefits from the relationship, the other one is harmed in the relationship. And so your classic example is going to be a tick and dog, right? And in this example, the dog is being harmed because the tick is the parasite, right? So the dog's like the host, and this is the tick is the parasite. And the way you would show that is a positive sign, because the tick is winning from the relationship, and then a negative sign, okay? And so let me come out here so you can just kind of see everything, and if you want to pause it, you can. So ecology is a study of environment and how organisms interact with each other. And so today's focus is symbiosis, and symbiosis, the prefix sym meaning together and bio meaning life. So we're talking about this close relationship between organisms. And so there are different types of symbiosis. Mutualism is one type where both organisms benefit from the relationship. And a classic example of that is like a honeybee and a flower. And so there you have the positive sign where they're both benefiting. Now, commensalism is a type where one organism benefits from the relationship while the other is unaffected. And so a classic example of that is the barnacle and the whale. And then you could have a positive sign for the barnacle who's winning, and then a 0 for the whale who's not really being affected. So that's called commensalism. And then your last type of symbiosis is parasitism. And parasitism is when one organism benefits and then one is harmed from the relationship, right? And so a classic example of that is a tick and a dog, where the tick is winning, so we give them the positive sign, and then the dog is losing, okay? So that's my little lecturette on symbiosis. Now this is what I need for you all to do, okay? So I'm gonna go to my computer, and there's another video. This is kind of crazy, I'm gonna watch a video on a video. So I'm not gonna show you the video, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to YouTube, because there's another video that I want you to watch. And so in YouTube, here we are. I want you to type in symbiosis. Oh, that's not how you spell that. And the one that I want you to look at is by Mark Drollinger. He does a really good job, and it gives you the animations too. So you're gonna go look at that video. It's short, right? 2 minutes, 32 seconds. This is YouTube, Symbiosis, Mark Drollinger. Take a look at that video. And then once you're done with that, I want you to go to Google, okay, and type in Symbiosis worksheet. And I think this was the one that I liked. No. It was this one. It's called Good Buddies, Symbiotic Relationships. Uh-oh, that's not the one. That one has answer key. Ooh, boop, boop, bop, dee. Maybe it was this one, option 2. Yeah, this is the one that I liked. So let me go back so you can see which one it was. So I typed in Google Symbiosis worksheet, and I went with the one that was called option 2, relationships option 2. Okay, I click it, and it has some examples here. And what I just want you to do in your notebook is look at some of these examples, okay? And they give you some practice. And if you scroll down to, I think this was the second page, If you just knock out the second page for me in your notebook, we will be good to go, y'all. Okay, so let me go back. Well, you guys can go back because, you know, it's gonna be on YouTube, so we're good to go. All right, so that is the assignment. I'll show you the board one more time. Ecology, symbiosis. And, you know, if you have questions or anything for me, make sure you email me, or I'll also send my cell phone number out. So that's video number 1, y'all, symbiosis. And I will see you soon with video number 2.